How do you feel about people in the world overall?
Oh, I feel bad for everyone because
Your relationship to people in the world. Do you feel people are trustworthy, nice, the world is a happy, hopeful place? How do you feel?
I feel really kind of untrusting. I don't want to show myself because I'm worried about, I'm worried about them rejecting me and me winding up, alone. And
so instead you reject yourself?
yeah, I don't message them when I think of a friend that, I'm working on this coding thing and I have a friend who's a computer science major and it's like, I have a question for him, and then I can't put together the words to send a message.
Why?
Especially because it's been so long, and I don't want to message him being like, hey, being needy, like I need something from him.
Why not just hit him up, say, hey, how's it going?
Because I don't know, follow that up. I know
Let's
that
do it now. Let's text him. Let's get your phone. Let's text him. Yeah, say, hey, how's it going? Give him a hand. Come on. Just say, hey, how's it going? Just however you normally say it. Just say, how's it going? And get the ball rolling. Here's the thing, too. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Like, well, then how will I follow up? You'll figure that out. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Jump in. You'll be so surprised when you have that resistance and you just jump in, how suddenly you're going to start seeing all these opportunities and possibilities and options. The same with success. People have these dreams, yet they never take the first step. And they wait to see all the steps to the finish line to finally take the first step without realizing that the way success works is you might see one step, maybe two, maybe three, and that's it. And then you have your goal. And you got to have that faith where you're like, okay, step one. And what you'll see is as soon as you do step one, step four appears. But it would never appear until you do step one. Same here. So this is your step one. And now once you do it, maybe there's a response, maybe there's no response. But now you'll see those future options. Did you text him?
Yeah, I just said, hey dude, how's it going?
Give him a hand. Okay. You can set the phone down. Then come back in. Now, who here feels pretty lonely overall? Raise your hand. And just own it. So one, take in the sense of unity. Funny enough, right, it's that whole what's most personal is most universal. In your loneliness, you're not alone. Yeah. So that's one. But the other big one is, if you don't feel, and this doesn't mean that you don't have friends, by the way. A lot of people feel very lonely. They're surrounded by a lot of people. They have friends, but you just don't feel that connection. You still feel isolated or different or on a different wavelength, if that makes sense. But usually loneliness, you know where it all starts? Not with your relationship with others, the relationship with you.
Yeah.
When's the last time you were there for you? When's the last time you told that you was like, oh, I'm so alone, I got you?
I remember driving in the car and having one of those times when stuff started coming up. And I was like, yeah, but I'm older now. Or something. I kind of, sort of felt like I was there for myself, but...
Why I'm older now?
Because I'm responsible for myself. You know...
Was it in a loving way or a step it up way? Oh, I shouldn't be feeling this. I'm older now. Or is it a loving way?
I was telling myself it's in the past,
Wow.
I think.
Okay. So, let's do this. Imagine I'm the aspect of you that feels really lonely and hurt and alone.
Yeah.
And I come up to you. What's your name?
Zach.
Zach. I'm like, Zach, I feel so lonely. Would your response be like, you're older now. Be more responsible. Is that what you tell me? I'm like, Zach,
No.
I'm so lonely. Hug?
Yeah.
And you're like, no. You're too old for hugs. Little Zach, back in the corner. We got to man up, Zach. It's pretty cruel.
No, I don't want to.
How would that make younger you feel? Even more hurt and lonely. Now, funny enough, this is not your fault. This is the conditioning. This is what most society says. Hustle it up. Well, you don't want to be a little weak person sitting in your little feeling, sulking. But if you look at what it does to you, again, taking that perspective of the relationship with me, it's really harsh. It's really hard. And it can be very helpful to, once more, personalize those aspects. The hurt you, personalize it, visualize it. Imagine that's your own kid. What would you tell that kid? Dad, I'm hurt and I feel very lonely.
Come here, son.
Would you hug him?
Yeah.
So why are you not hugging yourself right now? That kid's right there screaming inside. Come on. You can even close your eyes, like be there for that kid. Like for real, take even 10 seconds, just be there, identify. This is the relationship that's at the cause of all your relationships, by the way. If you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, all your external relationships will suffer. And you can audit too, even when you're alone, like, what does it feel to be with me? What's it like to date me? Have I, no joke, you know how you do it with friends? Like, have I spent enough time with my friends or my partner? It's like, have I spent enough time with me? Or am I just rushing task to task, person to person, this to that? The times with me, what are they like? Now for you, if you said there's a lot of like guilt and blame, like, but the porns, which by the way, although yes, there's, it's not the ideal. If you go to a meeting and you tell that to a bunch of drug addicts or heroin addicts, they're gonna be like, what, that's it, just porn? It's a very privileged addiction, let's just say. Yeah. It's like, everyone, I'm a big addict. They're like, what are you talking about? Well, I watched a little porn. And I saw then later on the effects of porn. They'd be like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, again, it doesn't take away from the issue, but it also helps put things in perspective, because what our mind will do is overblow it like it's the end of the world. Like, I just watched porn last 12 hours. Like, it's not that bad, okay? Now, on an external level, what does it mean to even start hanging out with you? It means shifting away from every time blaming yourself. If every time you're hanging out with you, you're blaming, that's hurting the relationship with you, and you'll feel more and more isolated and lonely. So it will mean, can you forgive? Now, when you hear this, forgiveness, it's not about trying to BS yourself and say yes. It's not about like, well, it's the right, okay, I do forgive myself. It's about tuning into what gets triggered, the resistance, and processing that. Meaning, can I forgive younger me? Parts of you can be like, no. That's what you breathe into. You don't try to fight the no or try to say, but you see, you just breathe into until it's just gone. Can you forgive myself? Yes. And forgiving does not mean accepting. It doesn't mean, oh, that was good. But it means no longer being run by that. And also, not judging younger you by current you standards. Younger you didn't know all that. And what you're saying is, you should have. In hindsight, we realized that was not the best course of action. You should have known prior to that. You couldn't. At any point in time, all of you, you're always, this is very important, doing what you believe is best for you. All the time. There's not a single time where you're not picking what you think is the best option for you. Now, is it the best option? No, of course not. But based on your perspective, it is. Even if it's something destructive. Because you might be thinking, well, what if I smoke a cigarette? Is that the best thing for me, Julien? No. But guess what? When will you choose something that isn't healthy? When the alternative is worse. Hey, would you rather cut your hand off or your arm off? No, let me cut the hand. It's still the best option from your perspective. And then what happens is after the fact, we're like, why did I do that? Well, now you know. Hey, but previous you wouldn't have known that. So if you rewound time, you would do the exact same thing you did. So it's not about like, why didn't I? You couldn't have. But you can learn from it. And then you can free yourself of being run from that. There's a valuable lesson. What if you never even learned that? Look at you. You studied it. You realized that had a bad effect. You're like, oh, that's not good. Let's stop doing that as much. Or let's stop doing that. Like I said, trying. That's why I said as much, because we know.
Know what you do in the
Yeah,
dark.
but that's a good, like, give yourself props. Like, oh yeah, that's what led me to realize that. What if someone went, say, less extreme than you, but never stopped and looked at the studies and they just continue their entire life that way? Not you. That's a win.
Yeah.
Right? Then on the external side, it also means, hey, what are some things I can do on a date with me? Schedule in. It sounds cheesy. Little dates with yourself. Hey, even something like, let's just watch a movie. And then just learn to enjoy your company. Or hey, let me just sit alone for a bit and just bask in what's me. Let me go for a walk. Let me read a book. Let me just do some things for me and learn to fall in love again with myself. That's the thing. You're born, you're like, yes, I love me. And you can see it, right? It's like you'll see, I mean, I have a daughter and another one on the way. When I see her, it's like, whoa, it reminds you so much of like what you, quote unquote, lost. Because trust me, you were born, you were not like this. But then the world happens. Life's, and throws all this stuff at you, and you do your best, and here you are.
Pick it all up like a piece of gum.
Yeah, pick it all up. And again, a lot of time we also misinterpret things, make weird connections. Like I said, like, I'm not strong enough, so you link things to that. But that's not you at a core.
No.
Used to love you at a core. What made you fall out of love with you? Now there's some regrets that you identified. That I'm not strong enough, et cetera, et cetera. Make the list. This is something I suggest you all do. Look at all your life and be like, dating me, how do I think about myself? The person I am. Am I a good partner, a bad partner for you? What do I love? What are the pros? What are the cons? So for you, and don't give the right answer. At first, give the real answer. So for you, you're going to write down, dating myself, pros and cons. You're going to be like, weak, not strong enough. You're going to have to write that down. Wasted all these years on porn, et cetera, et cetera. You make the list. I would even audit all aspects of life. I would even go in front of the mirror naked and look at yourself and see what that little voice says. It's like, ugly, this, whatever comes up, write it down. Because now that you see it, now you can work on it. Whether it's internally letting go and processing, or sometimes it also requires some external action. But that's the list. That's what's blocking that love from flowing. Yeah. And that's what you're after. It's not out here. No one's going to do that for you. And that's sadly why so many relationships are toxic, is because most of us feel completely terrible inside. We don't love ourselves. Again, some more than others. But we all have this split where we consider ourselves like a half, and we all look externally for something to fill that half. Could be money, could be success, could be a person, could be many people, and we're always trying to chase it. And then if you even think of what is a relationship for most people, they don't actually experience love. They experience attachment, craving, fear of loss. It's like, you complete me. If you leave me, I'm alone again with myself. Stay. Now, what does that lead to in the dynamic of the relationship? Manipulation. If I feel incredibly lonely inside, and say I'm like, Zach, you complete me. Around you, I no longer feel alone, Zach. You can be like, oh, and you might actually feel the same. That's a lot of relationships. It's like two halves. I mean, you're like, creepy. I'm like, but say you were to go well. I'm like, oh. And I start telling my friends, I'm like, oh, I met Zach, and things are so much better now. You remember how I used to be before Zach. I was so lonely and sad and thought I was going to die alone. But then I met Zach, and everything changed. So you get that little high. Then what happens? What if Zach leaves me? I don't want to go back to that. I got to make sure Zach stays. And it could be, again, being very nice. Here are all these gifts, Zach. And subtle little power plays, just trying to keep you entrenched and make sure you don't leave. That's relationships. And usually it's both people who do that. Versus, I'm whole, I love myself, you're whole, you love yourself, and two wholes come together, and there's this beautiful synergy that happens called love. But how does it all start? The relationship with you. It's the most important one in the world. I would even put put an alarm clock throughout the day, like morning, noon, evening, night. Again, 3 times a day. Every time it rings, do a little check-in with you. You ring, you're like, okay, for 1 minute, let's see how am I doing? Am I stressing out? Am I rushed? Am I tense? Am I relaxed? Are things on my mind? Is there like neediness and fear? What's going on? Do a deep audit and say, can I embrace me, be kind to me, love me? Take a few deep breaths, keep going on. Just that. Do that 3 times a day for a while, see what happens. Of course, to get to the cause, you got to dive really deep and process that, but externally, that's a good one. Another one is even collecting some wins, giving yourself some props. Every day, what are 3 wins? Ideally, you should have 50. Yeah. What are 3 wins today? Give me 3. One's easy.
A cup of coffee.
Okay. Cup of coffee.
Going to see the Liberty Bell.
Okay.
And
what's your biggest win today? It's an easy one.
Yeah, my awareness right here.
Doing this!
Yes.
Crushing it, being authentic in front of a huge crowd, having the willingness and courage. Are you kidding me?
Yeah!
Yes! Woo! Like, take this in. This is no small feat.
Yeah.
And even think, like, how many people even have the opportunity to be in front of a crowd like this? Very few. Did you ever think you'd be in front of a big crowd like this? Probably not.
No. No.
And you crushed it.
Thanks.
Did you tell yourself you crushed it?
I crushed it!
Do you believe it? Is there a part of you that doesn't believe it?
Oh, yeah. But,
okay. So what's that part? What's that part of you saying? Ooh, now we go into another layer of resistance. What's that part of you saying? The resistance around letting the win land.
That I'm not going to follow through.
Okay. Good. Why?
Go back to my not being strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
And dedicated because I think I'm bad.
Mm-hmm. Another thing to definitely identify where that came from and process. Because you aren't.
It came from the porn thing, I think.
Okay.
Well, that and being told that it's bad by all the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And then just having it hidden and no one ever finding out.
A lot of forgiveness there then.
Yeah.
So it's 2 things, because that's another one. It's like, okay, what if I can't follow through? One is, this is an external mindset shift. Won't get to the cause, but can help. Remember this? Although, as we talked about, you got to process your past, but like your past track record doesn't necessarily determine the future one. So this is big, even say, when it comes to sales, usually for someone to purchase something. Say it's even a coaching, there has to be 3 check marks in their mind. Like say I'm like, Zach, join my coaching. Check mark number 1 is going to be, do I like and trust Julien? That's the first one that has to go off. That goes off. Most likely all of you, since you're here, you like and trust me. Number 2, do I like and trust his coaching, his program, his process? And that usually also goes off. The third one, though, and this is the big one, is do I trust myself to go through it? And this is where most people don't have it checked off. They're like, I see how helpful it is for others, but for me, I self-sabotage. Look at all the other courses and programs I've tried that I fell off and procrastinated on. This is going to be the same, et cetera, et cetera. So externally, it's remind yourself, just because you did in the past doesn't mean you won't in the future.
I am at the responsible.
Mm-hmm. Then it means practicing on a daily basis, putting your foot down, snapping yourself out of that, and getting it done. Baby steps. Foot down, foot down, foot down. And then thirdly, you got to ask yourself, and this is called inevitability thinking, it's how can I put myself in a situation where there is no choice? So coaching is one. Doesn't have to be coaching. You could text friends. You could text your family. Like just find a way to be held accountable. This is how you use a seminar high to your advantage. You realize certain things, but then don't kid yourself. Like, guess what? If you don't make any drastic changes, you're going to go back and yes, you'll fall back in the same pattern. All of you will. And this will just seem like a fun, distant dream. When you have this seminar high, don't try to maintain it. That's not the win. The win is from this heightened perspective, What are changes that need to be made in your life and your current way of doing things? And what are some boundaries I can put in place so that when you come down from this high, success is the only route. Failure is not an option. So that's what you, so that's what you got to start thinking. Okay, if I'm going to go back to my regular ways from this perspective, zooming out, seeing me, and knowing me better than I know anyone, how could I coach myself so that success is inevitable? How can I make it so that going back to the old way of doing things is impossible? Then you might give yourself, okay, well, I'm going to get some friends to hold me accountable. Okay, good. Think of it as like playing chess against yourself. There's one move. Knowing you, though, how are you going to weasel your way out of that? Oh, I'm probably going to come up with that excuse, or I'm probably going to do this. Okay, well, how would you counter that? How would you counter that? It's playing chess with yourself and checkmating yourself into success. So reflect on this as you sit down from this heightened sense. What boundaries can I put in place so that when I go back to my regular life, success is inevitable? And taking this reference here, although this doesn't get to the cause, it gives a lot of awareness, things you can now process and let go of. And look, massive win right here. So take it in. Give him a hand. Come on. Bring it in, man. Hug. Come on. Yes.